Hello, this is Organization with Olu, and today we're going to talk about stocks and shares. Stick around. I think you're going to like what I've got for you. Right now, what I'm going to do is share my screen. Okay, we're going to go straight into how to invest in stocks and shares. Please, if you haven't watched my first video, go back and watch my first video. It's very, very important. Okay, so I'm trying to do a series of giving you videos on how to invest in stocks and shares. Okay, so please go back and watch it. Okay. Yes, and another thing, I am not. I used to be a financial advisor. I've said that in previous videos. I was for 10 years, but I'm not anymore. So this is not a recommendation, guys. I'm not giving financial advice. All I'm doing is providing financial education. So it's very important you do your own due diligence. You do your own research. Okay. Okay, enough said. Make sure you do your research before you do any of these kind of investments in the future or now or whenever. Okay, so let's carry on. How to invest in stocks and shares. The person in the background is called Warren Buffett. He's one of the most successful investors. So we're going to follow a lot of things that he said over the years that he's realized and he's shared. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you as well. Okay, so let's carry on with this. Okay, how to choose a good company. How do you go about it? You want to do stocks and shares, you hear about it all the time. How do you go about it? Okay, I'm going to show you how you go about it. Okay, some of the things we need to think about. And this is from Warren Buffett. And what Warren Buffett says, and what he says is the most important thing in evaluating a business. Has it got the ability to raise prices without losing customers? Can it raise its prices without losing business? If it's able to do that, you know that this company has got a very strong position in the marketplace, that it can raise its prices without losing business. So that's the kind of company you need to be looking at. Okay. Invest in facts and not emotions. We've all done that. I've done that anyway. You like a particular shop. Oh, you go to the shop, you love the clothes in the particular shop, or they sell great chicken or something like that, and you just want to invest because you love the company. That's not enough, guys. In order to, when you want to invest your hard-earned money, you have to invest in facts. You must do your research. You must know about the company, know about the financial situation and about the company, know where the company is going, know the share price, what's happening, why is the share price fallen, what's going on in the company, what's the prospects for the company. You need to know that, and that's one of the reasons, guys, why I've said when you start in stocks and shares, you only must be looking at maybe one or two companies. Invest only in one or two companies, concentrate on those companies, and then over time you might add a few more. Okay, buy a wonderful business, not cigar butts. Okay, and this came from the fact that if you wanted to buy a cigar, um, I mean, cigars normally are quite expensive. Okay, so what people would go around and do if they don't have the money to buy a packet of cigars, they would then ask somebody, "Can I finish smoking what you've got?" So they take a cigar that's been half smoked and start to smoke that. Okay, what Warren Buffett is saying, don't make sure you don't do that. Choose companies. Don't look at the price. Choose the best companies. Buy a wonderful business irrespective of the price. So if this share is a bit more expensive, still go ahead and buy it. Don't just buy a company because it has cheap shares. Okay, you must buy a wonderful business first before you look at the expense. Okay, so you buy, and with fractional shares nowadays, you can actually do that. Okay, only buy stock you understand. Okay, so you need to research. You only, if you're going to invest in something, make sure you understand the business, understand where it's going, understand what's going to do, what's the future. Okay, if you must be able to understand. For example, if you want to invest in Virgin Galactic, do you understand what they're trying to do? Have you read about it? Have you read about space? Do you understand? Do you feel there's a potential in the business? Understand the business before you invest in that particular company. Okay, so hopefully that's quite clear. Another thing you need to do is buy at a price below the intrinsic value. Get a good deal, just like anything. A lot of people tend to, oh, look at the stock price. It's gone up. I'm going to buy it. No, that's not the time to buy the stock. You need to get a good price. Okay. Just think about it. You're buying it. You're buying a share and you're going to sell it at a future date. If you buy it below the intrinsic value, you get a good deal. it's likely, if you choose a company really well, it's likely to grow in value. Therefore, you're going to make much more profit rather than buying it when it's at a very high price. Okay. So, just like anything in life, get a good deal. Don't just buy it because it's a high price. You must not do that. Try and wait for it to perhaps dip. Unless there, and we'll go, there's a few exceptions to that, and we'll talk about that. But essentially, you need to be trying to get a good deal in terms of buying your shares. And I'll quickly show you what I mean by that. Okay. Facebook, is it a good stock? It's going through difficult times. Should you still invest? Let's look at some of the fundamentals. Now, earnings grew 61% last year. It grew 61% last year. It makes 36% profit margin. Okay, which is quite a healthy profit margin. It owns WhatsApp and Instagram. Again, find out what the plans for WhatsApp and for Instagram. Future plans to bring internet to every human being. And also, it wants to move into virtual reality, and it wants to start focusing a lot more on younger adults who Facebook thinks they're losing them. So they want to focus a lot more on them. So that's where Facebook is actually going. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Facebook is that I'm going to show you the stock price of Facebook and still ask you that question. Do you think you should still invest in Facebook? It's got issues with Apple and privacy laws causing the stock to fall. Okay. So let's quickly have a look at the stock price. So if I can get it, it's here. Okay, so currently now it's $312. Now, guys, if we go back, let's go back 5 days. It was $340. So it's obviously taken a dip even in the last 5 days. Okay, and that's to do with earnings. Earnings wasn't quite what they wanted, and it dipped again. But let's go back to actually a month. Let's go back to a month and let's see. Okay, that's still relevant. And let's go back to 6 months and see where they were. $382 from it was 1st of September, which is about 6 weeks ago. It was $382. So what on earth has happened? And that's to do with the privacy laws that is fighting and all the things. What's going on, which just made it tank. It was $382. It's 6 weeks ago. So it's really gone down now. But the question I'm going to ask you, do you think Facebook is still a good stock to buy? Again, we're going back to the fundamentals. If you believe in the business, if you understand the business, you think the business is going some places, then yes, definitely it's a good business to buy because it's gone down in price 312. So if you're buying shares at 312 and you have belief in the company, so he's saying that it should be able to get back to those levels and much higher, and therefore you're going to make a profit. Okay, so you're buying at this price. Okay, there was other dips as well. If you went back here, if you let's go back to a year to date. If you go back here, it was $270, $260 and that was back. That was right back in January. Okay, so you missed the dip here. This was a dip that you missed, but obviously, well, you wouldn't know because you hadn't invested. But these are the kind of areas you need to look at in terms of buying below the intrinsic value, getting a good deal. Now it's gone up, it's gone up, it's gone up, it's gone up, and at this stage it was 382. This is not the time to be buying it when it was 382. Okay, because you're buying at a high price. You're buying at a high price. What you want to do is wait for it to dip. Be patient and wait for it to dip. Like, I'm not recommending you should go and buy Facebook, but what I'm trying to say, this is not necessarily a bad time to think of buying it because it's dipped. You're getting it well below the intrinsic value. If you believe in Facebook and you think it has great potential, you're getting at $312. 6 weeks ago, it was $382. So you're buying it at a much cheaper price. And we'll talk about moving averages and stuff like that. And, from 282, it's moved to about 380 in about a year. So getting at 312 is not too bad. Okay. So anyway, we're going to do a lot more of these videos. So please like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Thank you very much.